I'm gonna piss off a whole lot of people in this video real quick. So hey guys, it's Cole. I hope that you're actually having a beautiful day. So we're getting to that delicious meaty tank drama. Summary of events was there was a tank in an endgame dungeon that wasn't using AoE abilities, and so they were losing aggro on mobs. It was causing chaos, and then someone that I actually really do love, main tank is great. One of the few reasons I'd ever go back to Twitter. I really don't like Twitter, but he raised, hey, maybe you could use AoE abilities, and kind of like trying to like say something to improve. First mistake, and then unfortunately it went onto Twitter, and then it kind of blew out from there. Now for my spicy opinion that is going to make a few people probably bald. And if you're bald, well, sorry. My first point is gonna be something that I practice in real life and in games. And so, have you ever interacted with, in obviously another game, with an NPC that you really don't want to deal with, you really don't want to talk to them, you really want to get the quest objective done, run off, get the experience reward or loot or whatever, and then you just don't want to interact with that person? Well, I can tell you that there are dialogue options in real life and in game that minimize how much you're going to interact with that NPC. Let's say that I'm going to a pharmacy and then I just want to pick up a Ventolin because like my lungs are whatever. But if the pharmacist is really abrasive and really nasty, what do you want to do? Which dialogue option? Do you want to either A, give them a lecture on how they shouldn't be rude? B, do you want to be a Karen and say how the customer's already right, always right, or whatever? It's stupid, not even accurate. Or 3, do you want to just be like, thank you so much, I hope that you have a lovely day, oh, aren't you just wonderful, oh, you're great, but like maybe a little less sarcastic. Basically just trying to smash the escape key as quickly as you can to get the punch away from this crazy unhinged person. Well, I mean, at least as a Canadian, I can say I will select option C 100% of the time. I am not here to be your Jiminy Cricket. I am not here to be your therapist. I am not trained to be a therapist. I cannot deal with that. So I'm gonna be like, oh yes, please, thank you. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, I hope you have a lovely day. It's not that I'm necessarily gonna be rude, because that's gonna inflame the situation. It is, I'm gonna be as polite as possible, and I am gonna fucking run away as quick as I can. Exact same idea applies in-game fully. And that doesn't make me aloof, that doesn't make me elitist, that doesn't make me a jerk. It just means, hey, you know what, I'm going to either politely and very quietly just do my job, finish the dungeon, or I'm gonna leave. And that doesn't make me a jerk, that just is, hey, this is also my time to play a game, and if I'm not feeling comfortable, or I'm feeling like things are just not going great, it is totally in my right to leave, and I will do that. There's some people that are going to say that that's unreasonable, but I think removing yourself from a situation silently is not unreasonable. Yes, people will get mad at me for that, but that's how I feel. Second point, gonna piss off a lot of people with this one, is there's nothing expert about an expert dungeon. There is nothing hard about it. There is nothing that involved about it. What you literally are trying to do is you're trying to grab all the packs, AoE mode them down. There is almost nothing difficult about an expert dungeon. And that doesn't make me elitist to say that. Will sound elitist because people will be like, oh, well, I could wipe on it. Yeah, of course you can wipe. I mean, lots of healers need time to adjust, but I mean, in general, if you're going into an expert dungeon, you can't tell me that, like, the expectations are for it to take over half an hour. You generally expect that to be in and out and done. And with that comes my second part of this point. I myself just got out of a skin surgery. I had a laser literally remove my entire face. It was quite something, and no, I'm not going to show pictures. I did still play video games at that time, and I can tell you, I did not perform well. I did not feel well. I felt sick. I felt exhausted. I was not doing great. But at the same point in time, I was going into easy content that I knew is easy and trying my best to do it. This person, frankly, we don't know the full picture on who they are, what they're about. They could have been impaired. It could have just been as simple as, you know what, someone was on a particular substance that's legal in Canada at the time. Someone might have been, you know, weekend night or something. I don't even know when this happened, but it could have been like a Friday night and then they were just having, you know, a drink. Could have been all sorts of different things. You don't really know someone's situation. It could have been someone with literal cerebral palsy, for all we know. And I think that it's great that Final Fantasy XIV has content that I genuinely do believe that someone with any kind of particular status could definitely tackle some of this content. I think that that's a great thing. And maybe to that, maybe I should revise what I said earlier. To most people, expert is not challenging, but maybe to someone who has maybe like something that's impacting their ability to function, of any list of one of the many things it could be. Maybe they have like something like multiple sclerosis. I know many people that it's a very serious condition. It definitely impacts motor movement. Maybe this is their pinnacle content, and that's totally fair. And in that case, I mean, I encourage them to do the best they can. But we are going a little too deep down this rabbit hole. It is most likely that the person was, or even the fact that there are lots of like kids, like literally not even adult kids. Like there was some streamer that reacted and was incredibly, horribly nasty to me. Like just an awful, horrible girl. But like, then it's just like, oh, she's not even an adult. And it's just like, well, you know what, I can't hold it against them. So it's just like, you need to also acknowledge there are literally like little kids playing this game, and you cannot hold them to the same standard that you would an adult. Like, it's just not reasonable. It's just like, we are looking at a lot of streamers who are literally in their like 50s or something that like stream this game full time, and they are freaking amazing players. They are incredible. They are like really good. Like this shit is like their bread and butter. This is how they pay their bills. They are impressive. They are super impressive. You can't compare a kid to that. I will absolutely go to bat and say you can't compare some kid that's not even an adult to that level. And I think that that's another thing that we need to take into account. So like, they could have been impaired from, say, like after a surgery, like I was. They could have been impaired just because of other things. It's too simple to just say that this person doesn't care, I think. Although I think probably 90% of the time it's probably that. It's not elitist, but it's not worth your time to critique someone in game. It's just not. I do think that mentorship is valuable. I come from the world of software development where mentorship is a huge reason of why I got my skill set in the first place. I would not have my job that I do today or my skill set if it wasn't for literally tens of senior engineers that spent like time and energy pouring into helping me debug code, figure out things. So mentorship, I think, is brilliant, beautiful thing. I think that that is truly where humanity shines. It's just like, what, there was literally documentaries on how like octopi on the bottom of the sea are actually more intelligent than us, but what gives humans an advantage is our ability to communicate. Like this video, this is what scientists, literal scientists, are saying gave us the advantage, that maybe we're not necessarily the most intelligent creatures on this planet, but we can communicate things, we can bring ideas forward, science and all these technological advancements. That's what makes us good. And so I am a huge believer in that. To not believe in that is like saying I think that the world is flat and that science is fake. It's just like, come on. But I do think that, like my first point, there's a time and a place. You don't really want to start lecturing people, especially like if someone is saying no, or like you get any kind of pushback, it's just not worth it. Like, it's just like, you could offer, but I can tell you, I myself, I don't even offer. Like what I said earlier, I will silently drop the group, or I will just silently do my job, and I might do a little prayer. I might need a cross after some of the things I've gone through in 14, but I'll get through it without any friction. Verbal friction, that is. The content might have kind of hurt my brain, body, and soul. I'm gonna end this by saying it's not difficult to press two buttons. This is a fact, and that's why I think that this person was not necessarily a clear-cut case, because objectively, a lot of the Final Fantasy XIV community is adults between like 20 to 30 or whatever it is, and so I don't think at all that it is hard for someone to do the two-button rotation. That's why I'm pretty much convinced, or at least it's my headcanon, I could just be off in Narnia though, that this person had something go on that we don't know. Which, combined with it being frankly casual content, like not even casual content, like this is like bare bones, bare minimum content. Like this is content that I have literally gone on record to say I don't think that this is enough for the casual player base. I think that this is awful. This doesn't even remotely come close to mid-core in the most slightest tinge of fashion. This is like bottom of the barrel kind of stuff. And so I think that it's fair for them to queue in and for them to try. I can absolutely, however, understand the frustration, because to all of us, it's just like, yeah, we just want to get in and out in like 20 minutes or less. Like, I had a run that was 13 minutes literally the other day. And I don't even have Bestest Lock gear because I'm not touching the raid tier till loot lockout's gone. That is a rant for another video. How to say it? So I frankly don't think that it's, I think unfortunately this content has fallen into the rut where it has become an expectation for this content to be speed blitzed down so quick because it's so not difficult that it just doesn't engage even casual players that much, that it's just like we're literally in there trying to get in and out for tomestones as quick as we can. And I think that that's an unfortunate discussion that maybe we should elaborate on. Why is expert dungeons just the furthest thing from expertise at this point? But I'm gonna cut it off there. Who's at fault here? No one. I don't think anyone's at fault here, but I definitely think hit the escape key with any NPCs in real life or in game. Winky face. I'm not joking though, I'm being real serious.